Guys, in this session we'll see what we have covered so far in module 5, the review on module 5. That's only. So as part of module 5, we discussed about creating a framework for monitoring and control. So the need of framework. So what is the need of the framework? So what is the need? What is the need? So actually the given problem is solved not as a single element. It is furtherly divided into various modules, modules into submodules, and so on. So for this division, we create a plan called scheduling the project activities. Scheduling the project activities. So now, are we following the project schedule or not? In order to deliver the final product to the client on time and within the specified budget, are we effectively using this schedule or not? So to ensure that, framework is required to ensure that whether we are following the schedule or not. That is defined by the management at the time of starting the project. So the framework, so it is useful to check whether it is meeting the targets or not, whether we are finishing the project products, all the lower level elements, middle level elements are finishing by the given deadlines or not, called target dates, whether we are finishing the project deliverables by the time of deadline or not. Then mismatch, is there any mismatch is existed between the defined deadline and the completion time? So prior to development, we have given a schedule for every task, the start time and end time, the finish time. So during development, we need to check whether we have started the task by the specified start time or not. At the same time, whether it is finished by the specified deadline or not. Is there any mismatch? If mismatch is there, it shows the impact on the remaining depending activities called critical activities. So identification of critical activities and planning the alternate solution for this critical activities called replanning. Replanning the solution for the critical activities. So then responsibility roles. So as we know that, so we are having a project hierarchy from top to bottom. At the same time, bottom to top. So the higher level people will define the problem, and the middle level people will divide the problem into very small sub problems, and each sub problem is further divided into sub problems and so on, and planning the solution and implementing the solution. In order to achieve the solutions as per the given deadline, we have to write a report. So in order to write a report, we have defined three responsibility roles. What are the three responsibility roles? Steering committee, project manager, and team leaders. Of course, every individual has to feel a responsible person. So steering committee. So what steering committee will do? Steering committee will monitor the whole project solution. What is defined in the SRS? What is achieved during development? Both are matching or not. So it is just checking. The steering committee is checking the final solution and effort and budget and schedule, everything. The steering committee. Then project manager. So what project manager will do? Will monitors the day-to-day activities of all the lower level elements, that is modules and submodules and so on. Project managers will write a report on everyday activities, day-to-day activities. Then team leaders, as a responsible team leader, need to coordinate with the lower level people, called all the team members, and collecting the report or status of the various tasks that are assigned to them. So that's the purpose of framework. So in order to achieving the targets, and is there any mismatch? If mismatch is existed, replanning the activities and reporting. So that is the purpose of the framework. So we'll see in detail progress monitoring. So what do you mean progress monitoring? So here we are solving the problem as a single unit. No, we are dividing it into various project deliverables. We are not solving not as a single unit. We are dividing this into various project deliverables or project products, and every project product is furtherly divided into project tasks. Every project furtherly divided into project activities. So we need to monitor the progress of every project activity or task. Every project activity or project task progress monitoring. So for every project product, for every project task, and every work product and every work task. So there is a difference between project product and work product, project task and work task. So what do you mean project product? So this is planned. Project for product is planned as part of development. Work product that we achieved. Both should be same. Anyhow, both should be same. But due to continuous change request, so as per the client request, we have to accommodate the changes. We have to accommodate the changes. So that is actually implemented called work product or work task. So these two are project products and project tasks are planned prior to development. That is available in SRS. Work product and work tasks are available during development. So as per the plan, we have to start the solution and implement the solution. But during implementing the solution, if any change is suggested by the client, we need to accommodate the change, so that we are implementing work product and work task. So here we have to monitor both the progress of project products and work products, project tasks and work tasks. So what is the specified start time and what is the specified deadline, target date? So are the products are started? The project products or project tasks are started by the specified time or not, and finished by the specified target date or not? That we are monitoring. If any violation is there, we need to estimate the extra cost, extra budget, extra resources. So that we are monitoring in progress monitoring. Then cost monitoring. So in this case, if any violation is happen, so that we are monitoring cost monitoring. So if violation is happening between project product to project product and project task to project task in the schedule. Okay, cost monitoring also estimated for project products, project tasks, work products, and work tasks. So what is defined, what is achieved, what is defined is available in terms of project products and project tasks. What is achieved is available in terms of work products and work tasks. So what is the budget allotted for defined project products and defined project tasks? What is the budget implemented or utilized? The actual implementation of the budget on work products and work tasks. So budget is in terms of effort. So what do you mean effort? Human resources, hardware resources, software resources, and various other environmental factors. Other environmental factors. So for your understanding sake, I will give simple example. So now we are in a COVID-19 period. So what is happening in this COVID-19 period? We are attending online classes. Actually, as per the academic calendar, you have to finish the winter semester before May 1st. Before May 1st, you have to finish the winter semester. But what happened? Due to the unexpected situation. What is the unexpected situation? COVID 19 entered into the situation. Due to this unexpected situation, what happened? Schedule is violated. So, we need to work for the extra time. We need to work for the extra time. So that we are doing now. So that is the environmental factor, not only human resources, software resources, and hardware resources. So the various environmental factors also influencing the project development. So that also we need to take into consideration while estimating the cost of all the project products, that were planned at the time of starting and at the time of development, not the final. These are work products or work tasks. So when will we finish, when you will achieve the solution for this? So these are planned, these two are planned, these two are achieved. Some part of the solution is achieved. For that, what is the budget allotted prior to development? What is the implementing budget that we are estimating? So in terms of cost monitoring. So how to estimate this practically? Practically, how to estimate this? So by using end value analysis. So what this end value analysis is? Inspecting the project schedule at any time. Inspecting, checking the project schedule. Are we going according to the schedule or not? Are all the tasks are specified started by the specified time and finishing by the specified target dates or not? So is there any violation? If violation is occurred, so what is the cost that we have to spend in terms of effort, in terms of resources, in terms of schedule? So the various factors that we have to consider, that we will estimate in end value analysis. So how will you calculate end value analysis statistics? By using these are the various parameters: budgeted cost of work schedule, budgeted cost of work performed, budgeted completion, actual cost work performed, schedule performance indicator, schedule variance, cost performance indicator, cost variance, and person complete during the project development. So what do you mean BCWS? For every task, some schedule is given. What do you mean schedule? Planned effort and implementing effort, that is actual effort for every task. That is what called BCWS, budgeted cost of work schedule. For every task in the given schedule, for every task some budget is allotted, that is schedule budget. And BCWP, so what do you mean BCWP? Budgeted cost work performed. So this is the schedule, this is scheduled. So this is implemented, this is implemented, actually implemented budget on the same task. This is scheduled budget and this is performed budget. And BAC. So what do you mean BAC? Budgeted completion prior to development. To finish this project, what is the budget is required? What is the budget is required? So that we will specify at the initial days. That is the budgeted completion. For this BAC, for this BCWP, for this BCWS. So BCWS is defined on task, BCWP is defined on parent task, BAC defined on grandparent task or grandparent product, parent product and child product. Every child product is having BCWS, every parent product is having BCWP, and grandparent is having BAC. So the child product budget is used in calculation of parent product budget. So I will get this module budget by adding the budget that is allotted on all its childs, that is BCW, that we have calculated in previous station problems, adding summing all the BCWs of its childs. Okay. So BAC, how will you get BAC? By adding all its childs. So what is its child budget? BCWP. So indirectly BAC also calculated using the grandchild's, great grandchild's BCWS. And ACWP. What do you mean ACWP? Actual cost work performed. So this is the budget is defined. Budget is defined for the work product. This is the budget is defined for the work task. And actually, so rather than this, how much cost that we spend on the product, work product. At the time of review, we will check what is the budget allotted for the work product 1, work product 2, and so on, and work task 1, work task 2, and so on. So what is the scheduled budget and what is the actual budget that we applied? Both should be same. Actually, both should be same. Due to some change request, it is violated. So what is the actual budget that we had spent on the completed tasks. Then schedule performance indicator, schedule variance. So this you will know how to calculate this. So bcws, using bcws, bcwp and bac will calculate the schedule performance indicator and schedule variance, bcwp minus bcws and bcwp divided by bac. cpi, cost performance indicator, so it requires acwp, it requires ACWP to calculate. CV also requires ACWP. The difference between ACWP and BCWP will give. And person complete. How far? How much percentage of work is completed at the time of review? That we are calculating using earned value analysis. Earned value analysis. Then defects track. So as we know that during development, any defect happen at any moment. So what do you mean defect? The mistake made by the human. So actually we prior to development we are having srs. As per this srs we need to find the solution and implement the solution. During finding the solution for this whole problem, we need to find the solution for various intermediate problems and various other lower level elements solutions. So in this process any defect may happen. Why defects are occurring? So in order to find a solution for this, what we have to do, we need to integrate all these solutions. So when we are trying to integrating these solutions, what happens? It has to support the remaining neighbors. If it supports all the neighbors, no problem. Doesn't support, where is the problem? So that's what called defect. Defects tracking. So in this process, we are identifying the defects and the various defect life cycle parameters. New, is it a new defect or not? If it is a new defect, so actually defects are identified by tester, not by the developer. Developer will implement the solution as per the SRS. Tester will test the solution, the developed code as per the requirements, not the developed code. So the developed code is tested by tester as per the requirements. There is a lot of difference. Tester will test the developed code as per the requirements. Developer will develop the solution as per the requirements. So here we are always using requirements only. So using the requirements will test whether it is defined and implemented as per the plan or not. So if it is not implemented, so we are identifying a new defect and we need to fix it, whether it is a defect or not. So after fixing, assigning the responsible party, that is a developer, so not the earlier developer. So assign this defect to the new developers. So assigning the task to the new development team. Then active, whether it is a active defect or not. In this case, we will define two parameters, that is a rejected defect and deferred defect. So what do you mean rejected defect? It is already known defect, that is we already find the solution for that. So that's why we, so and it is non reproducible, it is not reproducible. So in that case we can reject it. And deferred, so when we will go for deferred case, if you plan the solution for the this defect in the next release or in the next version, we can say it is deferred. So we are planning the solution for this defect in the next version or in the next release, not in the current version. So in that case, we will say it is a deferred defect. Then test. So here we will test the newly implemented solution. Newly implemented solution. Who will test? Now QA team will come. What even QA team, quality assurance team will come, and this quality assurance team will test the newly implemented solution by the new team and reopened the defect and test. This quality assurance team finally finalize whether it is a solution or not, whether it is a defect or not. So like this way, and then verified. So here the quality assurance team verifies the reopened defect, whether it is a defect or not, and the defect is resolved or not. If it is resolved, closes the defect. So like this way, defects tracking and then issues tracking. So we need issue tracking management system. So during development, any issue may happen. Any issue may happen, like our COVID-19. Any issue may happen. So how COVID-19 is spreading? The corona is spreading from person to person. It's a big issue. So that's why we are asking maintain social distance, wear the masks. Okay. If you identify a person doesn't wear the mask, so as a responsible person, you need to asked. So please wear the mask like this. So like this way, in project development also various issues are happening due to the problems of ego. Different people are involving that we discussed in regular classes from analysis to maintenance issues. So when the issue was identified, the data of the issue identified, the description why issue happened, and priority. So three priorities are defined. What are the three priorities? Low issue, normal issue, and high issue. We will pay attention to high issues. Then responsible party, finding the solution, assigning a responsible party for this issues to resolve, and due date, the target date of the issue. Then status, what is the current status of the issue? So like this way we will define the issue tracking management system as part of software project management. So actually independent management system is working on these issues. So project management is different, issue tracking management is different. So we need to integrate both, then we can easily solve the issues, because issue may happen from start to end at any time. So these development is happening in different places. Some people are working from Bangalore, some people are working from Chennai, some people are working from Hyderabad, some people are working from Pune, some people are working from New Jersey, some people are working in California on the same project. So issue may happen at any workplace. So we need a coordination and cooperation. That's why it should integrate with the project management system. Then it is easy to identify the issues and finding the solution for the issues. Then finally, status reports. So what is reporting on the whole project? On the whole project. So in order to writing a report on the whole project, we need to write a report on project tasks or activities and project deliverables or project products. So weekly review form. So weekly review form is generated for delayed tasks. So what do you mean delayed tasks? Critical tasks. What do you mean critical tasks? If a task takes more time than the planned time or scheduled time is what called critical tasks. So we need to pay more attention on these delayed tasks or critical tasks. So we need to pay extra cost, extra budget, extra things. So weekly review form for delayed tasks only. And RAG reporting, red, amber, green. So the traffic light method reporting, traffic light reporting. So red, the tasks are not on target. Tasks are not on target but manageable. Tasks are on target. So what do you mean that the tasks are started by specified start time and finished by the target date? The tasks are started by the specified start time but not finished, but we can manage. Amber, tasks are started by start time, specified start time, but not able to finish due to some critical activities existence. RAG report. So here also will prepare a report on delayed or uncompleted tasks called partial completing task. Partial completing. So what is the solution for partial completion task? 99% partial completion syndrome. So we'll use that mechanism. What is that mechanism? Dividing the critical task furtherly into lower level subtasks. So that is reducing the complexity of the critical task. Then Prince2 reporting. So several steps are there, like software development lifecycle, Prince2 reporting. So that we have discussed in the previous class. That is it. So in this case, will use PID, project initiation document. Project initiation document in order to check whether we are working as per the schedule or not, or all the modules, submodules, and so on are delivering as per the given deadline or not. And finally, preparing a report. That is, before commitment, we'll prepare a report called SRS. After finishing, we'll write a report called closure report. During development, we'll prepare a report that is progress monitoring. So these are the things that we discussed in module 5, creating a framework for monitoring and control. As part of management, we have to assess each project, product or deliverable progress, each project task progress, and each project activity progress.